Well, it appears that whole lose for Hughes thing, the Kings are taking real seriously because they actually had a chance to win this game, and an afternoon game at that, and yet they did not. Unsurprisingly, because they just can't seem to play 60 minutes of hockey this season. Literally every time that something went wrong, the person behind me was like, can you stop jinxing it, please? Because I had predicted it. Like at one point, I was like, an insurance goal would be nice. And then they tied it up. And then something else stupid happened. And I was like, oh, well, wouldn't it be great if we took a penalty there? And sure enough, we did. And they scored on it because that is just how the Kings roll this season. Doesn't help that Florida Panthers have the best, or second best, power play in the league. So, of course, like less than 3 minutes in, we gave them a power play. Good job, guys. That was Dustin Brown, but he did plenty of other incredible things this game, so I'm going to give him a pass on that, except that that did mean that less than 5 minutes in, they had scored. Now, this is the team that has like at least 4 20-goal scorers, and until today, we had none. Literally none. And they have at least 5 players who have scored at least 30 points or more on the power play. Bearing in mind, we are also a team that in the last 17 games, 15 of them, we have given up more than 3 goals. This is the team that won the Jennings Trophy last year. Clearly not the same team. So like 5 minutes in, it's a lazy afternoon game. Kings literally don't have a shot on goal, and they've already given up a power play goal to one of the guys that has an over 20 goal game season. So you're like, okay, well, I guess that was inevitable. Took 7 minutes for us to get our first shot on goal. Good job, guys. But it did come, it did end up working out very well for us because the Panthers were so shocked that we even had a puck near their goaltender that they didn't really know what to do. And so a couple of chances, they ended up in that literally the same 20 seconds of us getting our first shot and a couple of dangerous things. They're like, oh crap, oh, the Kings are doing something, and they took a penalty, which then Dustin Brown scored on. So that went very well for the Kings. They had tied up the game, and the shot is just gorgeous. I don't know why anyone else is getting credit on this, and I don't think I managed to capture the exact moment where Brown stripped the puck, but that was all Dustin Brown. He takes it like my puck from the Panther, the right there, and everybody else had expected him to clear. So everybody else is kind of already starting their way up down to quick to get that puck. But Dustin Brown's like, no, this is mine. So he takes it. He does this awesome forehand backhand thing and totally psychs out Monty, and bam, tie game. That is what I love seeing from Dustin Brown. He now has 18 goals in the season. So it's possible we could end up with 2 20-goal scorers. Only took 71 games to get the first one, so let's see how that goes. Yeah, the next in line for that is after Brown is Kovalchuk, and he wasn't even in tonight's game, so sure, Desjardins. Whatever. I am all for the let's play the rookies approach because, let's face it, with 11 games left in the season, what else have you got to lose? And since everybody else seems to be in this lose for Hughes camp, why not give the rookies a chance and see what they can do? Because they weren't bad tonight. Or this afternoon, whatever. Dustin Brown, of course, and Kyle Clifford being the exceptions for the veterans that are just always stepping up and always doing great things on the ice. So Dustin Brown ties it. And then we took another couple of penalties in the first period that had me a little nervous. Drew Doughty took one for delay of game at the kind of end of the first. I'm like, really? Delay of game? That's the penalty you're going to take? And then at the end of the second period, the Kings took a too many men on the ice penalty. Those are my 2 least favorite penalties. They're so amateur hour. Really, guys? Really? So we were tied at the end of the first. Thankfully, we had another power play as well, but there's really nothing to talk about there. We go into the second, and it's kind of a little sleepy again. Whatever momentum they had gotten from Dustin Brown's goal, and it was actually a pretty good momentum that kind of got a little bit swept away there. And sure enough, less than 3 minutes into the second period, they have managed to score again. awesome. So we're down 2-1, and again, the team this season, you're like, I don't really know if they're coming back or not. That's a little concerning. Except how could I forget to mention that actually the first thing that happened in the second period to get the Kings out of their stupor was this. 30 full seconds of McDermott doing McDermott-like things and, punch the crap out of the guy and ultimately winning the fight. So the puck drops, the gloves drop immediately. Like, there's not even time to play any of it, and they are in the center of that zone there, and they're just, going at it. And then as soon as it's done, he's like, yeah, okay, I'm off to the penalty box now. Cool, did my job. So it did invigorate the Kings. That was the thing that happened a couple of minutes into the period. And then 4 minutes into the period, that's when we gave up the goal. So yeah. What's so concerning to me is that after that, you're seeing players like Anze Kopitar get a breakaway and then do nothing with it because he's so slow in his skates these days. I don't know what it is. It's incredibly bizarre to watch a guy who used to be such a huge playmaker, and when he had the puck on his stick on a breakaway, like, maybe he wouldn't get the goal, but at least he'd do something with it. And this game was just like nothing was happening. Like I said, Cliffy was standing out. Iafallo had some really good things going on. He's really fast, and so that helps, and he was really making an effort tonight. Leipzig was doing some great stuff. Now, Leipzig, I'm definitely going to get back to because he did something awesome in the third period. Remember that end of second period penalty I was talking about? The delay of game? Yeah, I hate that so much. Not delay of game. Too many men in the ice. Ugh, so many amateur hour penalties. It's just so frustrating. So that happens. We're on the power play for penalty kill for 59 seconds going into the third period. And as soon as it's over, Leipzig, because he was the one serving, comes out of the box. Carter has the puck, and this is Carter's 700th point in the NHL. Congratulations, Jeff Carter. Originally, they didn't credit him. But if you're looking at this, you can see why it's absolutely necessary that Carter gets credit for the assist on this. So he gets the assist. Leipzig ends up with the goal. And suddenly, super early, like a minute and 5 seconds or something into the third period, the Kings have life again. It's tied. It's 2-2. And that's exciting for an afternoon game for the Kings. So things are kind of looking good. What's even better than that is they actually managed to get the go-ahead goal. Now, this is Captain Kopitar's 20th goal of the season. Finally, we have a 20-goal scorer. Oh, and more importantly than that, we have a lead in this game for the first time. And it's so rare that the Kings get a lead like ever. I'd kind of forgotten what that felt like. So it was really exciting. Of course, it didn't last long because this is the LA Kings, and it was just slightly too early in the third period for us to really get excited because, as you know, the Kings can't close out a period as deemed by the penalty taken at the end of the first, penalty taken at the end of the second, and giving up a goal with like 6 minutes left in the third. Sure enough, tied game. Like, literally as I'm sitting there, this is one of the times where I was like psychic or jinxing it, whatever. I was like, man, you know what would be really nice right now? And an insurance goal. Because 3-2 with this much time left on the clock, I'm just not confident. Oh, look, there's a goal. Yeah, all right. So that was tied. And if that wasn't bad enough, with less than 2 minutes to go, they get this one. Now, this goal, it was slightly confusing. It didn't look like it was in. Quick didn't know where it was. Then he kind of lifted up his leg and he looked and he realized that it was over the line. So the goal horn sounds. But then it's a kind of an automatic review because the refs didn't know what was going on either. So they then go to Toronto and try to determine if it did actually cross the line completely. If you look at a couple of the overhead angles, it did. So, minute 55 left. Great. Perfect timing, guys, to give up a goal. Just awesome. Really good job there. So that happens. Deemed a good goal. And the Kings are like, well, you know what? They already called goaltender interference on one of our goals. And obviously it didn't work. But, we don't have enough time really to call a timeout left. Like, we're not going to waste it. Why not? Let's call goalie interference on them and see if that goes through. It doesn't. Yeah, because that's just the way that the Kings' luck goes these days. And honestly, it wasn't goaltender interference. Like, I don't know why they thought it would be. The other goal with Leipzig, I don't know why they thought that would be either. But either way, the calls on the ice stood for both of them. And with a minute 55 left, the Kings are now down 4-3. So this is indeed the 15th of 17 games that they have allowed 3 or more goals. You don't win that way, especially not when you're struggling to get offense yourself. The fact that the Kings got 3 goals themselves, I'm like still shocked by. So that happens. They try and pull quick, but they can't really do it because then the puck ends up down this end by where he needs to be, and there's they have a face-off there, and so then they try it again. But, unsurprisingly, because this is, the way it goes with the Kings, they don't have the greatest strategy when it comes to 6-on-5, and so nothing really happens there either, and they're done. And I don't even know anymore, what is the best way to lose a game? Is it where you think you have hope, but then screw it up real fast? Is it where you get behind and you almost come back? Is it where you have no chance at all? I'm getting to experience all these different kinds of losses this season, and it's kind of a little exhausting. I'm really glad there are only 11 games left. I'm still not in the lose for Hughes camp, but a lot of people around me are, and they seem to be very happy with that. So draft lottery, we don't actually get the thing, but we now get the picks. They determine who's 1 through 15 or whatever on April 9th. Day before the playoffs begin. So since we're not getting in the playoffs, that is now the date to look forward to, Kings fans. Are we going to get that number 1 pick? And you know what? They are trying their hardest to get there. We'll see.